Well, we're back.
Hope you enjoyed that commercial, Bray. Unexpected.
Yeah, we don't really
You know,
understand technology.
you know what it was? We were talking about Facebook and stuff, and they shut us down. I think
Maybe there's somebody watching
shut us down.
our every move, like in a movie.
So it's Mother's Day. Let me ask you this: are you pro or anti husbands doing something for their wives on Mother's Day?
I'm pro.
Explain yourself.
Well, I mean, I think if you don't normally do a lot of house cleaning, maybe you're more of an outside guy that likes to take care of the cars and the yard and the trimming the trees and all that stuff, that it would be good to clean the house, take care of the dishes in the sink and
So what did
mop
you
the floors.
what did you do for your wife?
I did that.
Oh yeah.
I
So
did.
that's why you're using that as an example.
I did it Friday. And let me tell you something. I started at about 8 o'clock in the morning and worked my hind end off until time to pick the kids up at school, which was 2:50, and didn't get out of the kitchen. I'm not saying the kitchen was that dirty, but that's how slow I am at.
No, that's how diligent you were.
Shannon would have had that done in 20 minutes. But
Well,
anyway.
did you at least appreciate it?
Yeah, she did. And I was worn out. I usually go to work and weld and climb ladders and just waller around all day long under a vehicle or something. And there we go.
No, it's still on.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I think so. Click down here.
We're right here. Google Hangouts.
There you go. That should be us. There's definitely a problem with this computer. It's just popping up random stuff.
Pop-up problem.
Yeah, it's got a virus. This is not a normal computer.
But anyway,
A regular computer actually blew up. So
I was very tired after cleaning the house, much like I would have been if I would have been at work, doing those.
it gives you respect for what she does, right?
Yeah, it does.
But at least she was appreciative.
She was, and,
I kind of like this camera angle. It makes you look huge.
it makes my head look big.
Look how little I am. I'm the little guy.
If I scooted back, that puts us into perspective.
We put the pretty face closer to the camera.
No, see, I just covered it up with a microphone.
So it is Meadow Grove mornings. It's church day, Mother's Day. They've got some flowers decorated. If you see us looking out, we're looking out into the sanctuary. They're getting prepped for Mother's Day service and baby dedication today. I know when we did that with our kids, that was a pretty powerful day, baby dedication. And I couldn't imagine a mother being able to do that on Mother's Day. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're on your way here, or if you're watching this post service, we hope it was good. If you're on your way here, we hope it is good and you enjoy it. I had to go get Matt from his small group room. He was preparing. What's your topic today for the youth?
Peace. How to have peace.
Peace.
Yeah, well, I drew a little flower child on the whiteboard.
You did. I like the hippie.
Good. Some of my drawings aren't the best, but this one turned out.
Just leave it up there.
Yeah.
You didn't trace it?
I might take a photo of it.
There you go.
Keep it for later.
In my small group, we're going to be talking about something pretty deep. We know that we believe that in order to make it to heaven, you have to believe in Jesus as the Savior, correct? What about the people on earth who never hear the gospel? What happens to them?
What's your answer?
Well, find out the answer, come to my small group at 10 a.m. There's scripture, surprisingly, right? There's scripture that actually talks about this. So,
and I read some of that scripture this week, and I can't remember where it's found.
Well, there's some all over.
Yeah. But it deals directly with, seems like it dealt directly with those that do not hear, will not hear the gospel.
Now, is there a difference between those that do not hear and those that will not hear? Some people just don't want to hear.
Some people hear it and do not hear it.
Right. There's a difference between hearing and listening.
Yeah. Or absorbing.
Some people may be hearing us, they're not listening, though.
Well, a lot of times my wife I hear my wife, but do I listen? No. Do I absorb what she says? No. And my children are the same way. I can be one of my children, one of my girls is worse than that, or worse for that than the others. And she can be looking right at me and I'll tell her something and it just don't register. She's not opening her mind or trying to understand what daddy's saying. She just,
don't you think God feels that way with us sometimes?
oh yeah.
We're standing right in front of him. He's telling us something and we're just not picking up on what he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and I think the other, yeah.
We are his children and we act that way.
Mm-hmm.
So that's our small group. We've got a few more small groups. I don't know what they're talking about today.
I don't either.
But that's even more reason to come to one of ours.
Right.
Come see Trav, Matt, and we'll talk about something. I'm surprised the band's not warming up yet. Maybe we're singing today, Matt.
You and I?
Yeah.
I'm ready.
What are we going to sing?
I don't know, but I'm not going to do it on stage. I'll do it from my seat.
What about here?
We could do it right here.
We could do it right here. We need a band behind us back here.
There's only one instrument I can play.
What is that?
That's my nose.
Go ahead and give us a tune.
I can blow it and I can pick it.
Oh. Oh, well. The pastor's in his office. He's getting ready.
He looks sharp too.
He does look sharp. He's dressed
for Mother's Day. He's wearing a pink shirt, and I mean pink.
No, is it pink or salmon?
It's like pink salmon.
So it's raw.
Did you say salmon?
Yeah.
Yeah. If I could send him a text right now, it would definitely have flowers around it.
If you don't know what we're talking about, go back and watch part 1 of this. He is dressed for Mother's Day, and we spoke with him a little earlier.
He smells good too.
Smells good. Yeah. He says that
he's put on his cologne.
What did he tell us? He said he's happy.
Mm.
Look, this thing gives me a bad shadow. Makes my eyebrow look like a unibrow. Look, it goes down into my glasses.
Well,
I look like a Muppet.
I wasn't going to say anything. I do want to know why you dressed in the same colors that I dressed in this morning.
Well, you sent me flowers that were very bright, and I thought I'd dull things down, and obviously you did too. So, great minds think alike. Look, I even wore button-up for Mother's Day. You wore a polo. We dressed up today.
This come from a thrift store. I believe it was $1.
It looks like one I used to have. It's not my old shirt, is it?
I don't know. It came from Clemens.
I don't even know where that is. So,
do
you shop at thrift stores a lot?
I didn't buy this. My aunt did. When Micah broke his leg, we were in the hospital, and we didn't have clothes except for the clothes we wore because we were in such a hurry. So she went by a thrift store and got us some clothes and things.
Well, that's a nice shirt.
It was nice for. I think she got it at a Goodwill.
Because she was performing Goodwill.
Right. That is what a Goodwill is designed for.
Exactly.
I've found some real good deals at Goodwill.
A Goodwill good deal?
A Goodwill good deal. Hey, I'm excited about our camping trip that's coming up this Friday.
This Friday you're going to Sali, correct?
We're going to go
Spell
to Sali.
That.
Tsali.
So it's like tsunami.
Salali.
What?
To Slally. Yeah.
What?
You said
I don't
tsunami.
know if we can say that. That may be an inappropriate word.
Slally. So I went by there this week was it this week, Monday, and just kind of trying to get a feel for how many people were staying in the campground during the week. Maybe I went by on Tuesday, and there was quite a bit of people there, but maybe a third of the sites were full. So I'm thinking if I go down on Thursday right after work, because I have Friday off, take the camper, that I can get 2 good sites, and we'll have, what we need for when.
What activities do you have planned?
Well, I'm trying to put my boat back together. My boat motor wasn't quite running right, and so I tore it down. And while I had it down, I thought, well, I'll repaint it too. And so one little project turned into a bigger project.
Always.
Now I'm, putting it back together like a hot rod, but hopefully, the engine is painted like hot rod orange, like Corvette orange, the old 420. was it 426?
I saw it on Facebook
Jet.
again. I saw it with your custom made gaskets.
Yep, cereal box gaskets, the whole works. I mean, this thing is Matt Mustin all the way. So
you're the new MacGyver.
We get that thing back together, and if it runs, I'm going to pull that behind my camper and get everything there on Thursday.
Wait, you're pulling?
Yeah, I put a.
You're going to have truck, camper, boat.
So
right? Am I right in that?
Yeah. So
you're going to have a train.
So in North Carolina, you can. I believe this is right. I believe you can double tow, but you can't triple tow.
You're going to find out if you can or not.
So the way I perceive that or interpret that law as triple towing would be a truck with 3 things behind it. Wouldn't you say?
I would agree with that.
And you're not allowed to do that, but it doesn't say anything about double towing. So I've got a truck with 2 things behind it. So yeah, I'm gonna double tow. But yeah,
how good will you be at backing that?
And I ain't gonna back it. I'm gonna pull down to the boat ramp first and unhook the boat. Just leave it there and go back up. And
well, you're gonna have to back it down.
No, I mean in the parking lot. It's a big area where you can turn around.
Oh, okay.
Down there at the boat ramp.
Okay, you're dropping the trailer and all.
Yeah.
Then go unhook from the camper. Then go get the boat.
Yes. Yeah. I'll probably just leave the boat down there. I don't think anybody will steal it. They probably won't get far if they do.
If you got it booby trapped?
Not yet, but.
Well, I was hoping to be able to go with you.
You asked about activities, so.
Oh, yeah. Boating, obviously, hopefully.
Well, we can hike for sure. If all else fails, if the bicycles break and the boat tears up, we can always go hiking and we can fish the banks. So we can still fish, we can still hike. And there's 42 or 44 miles of trails at Solly.
That's a lot of walking.
Hey, yeah, if we wanted to walk it, it would take all weekend. But hey, we can find something to do. I mean, it's just going to be good to be there and be enjoying God's creation and fellowshipping, as a group of guys. And I'm excited to have conversation with some of the boys and also be able to, deliver a message on Saturday morning, maybe Sunday morning. I'm going to talk to Israel and see if he might want to do one on Sunday or Saturday morning, and I could do one on Sunday morning.
So you won't be here next week?
I won't be here for Sunday school, no.
I
know it.
Well,
half the class will be with me.
Yeah. So.
Well, you're talking about for this morning. You'll have to, I don't know, maybe my wife will come do it.
Maybe we'll have the good computer fixed by then.
Yeah.
We don't have to worry about it just randomly stopping. I'll get somebody to fill in for you. I mean, we've only had 1 week.
Yeah.
It won't be too hard to fill those shoes, right?
Mm. Hey, you know what I've been watching, Travis, down here on the computer? This whole time, we've had 0 viewers.
Well, but we'll have more as the week goes on. A lot of people don't even know this is happening this morning.
Okay. And so they're not going to watch it live.
Maybe not. If you want to be notified when we're live, whether it's us 2 goofballs or service itself, go to our YouTube page and subscribe. And when we go live, you'll receive a notification on your phone letting you know that we're live.
Right.
We wanted to do this just as something for our Meadow Grovers to listen to and watch as they're getting ready for church, right?
Yeah. You know what, Travis? I've been thinking about something, and it's kind of a conviction of mine, but you just said Meadow Grovers, and a lot of times, there comes some Meadow Grovers right now, but I kind of got convicted about that because Meadow Grovers, the term Meadow Grovers, to me seems more like a social club nickname.
That's true.
I would rather refer to you guys, us, as the church. And so I kind of feel like we need a different catchphrase or something.
I won't be needing that today. We can't do any special
Pastor.
things.
Come here just a minute.
We were talking about your outfit. Come on.
Can you just see the camera there? Step right behind.
Step in front of a.
That nice looking.
Hunker down, hairy dog. Let them see you.
You can smell. He smells nice.
Here, push it towards the screen. He took a bath.
These boys need to take a bath.
Well,
I was going to talk about getting some showers here at church.
But look, we're dull gray and black, and he comes in that pink. It messed with the camera, I think. It changed the lighting in here.
So anyway, back to what we were talking about. When we say Meadow Grovers, I'm not telling you to do this, Travis. You do what you want. I'm going to try to start referring to this body of believers as just the church. So That's just kind of one of my little convictions.
Well, now I can't say Meadow Grovers.
I don't ever want us to feel like or to become so complacent that this just becomes a social gathering. When that happens, we might as well just
pack it up
down.
Yeah, you're exactly right. You're exactly right.
Or start selling things, and making money, because we're not doing what we're called to do if we're a social club. Anyway, that's a prayer of mine and a conviction.
Is that me or you?
It's not me. My phone's in the car.
Yeah, it must be mine. I don't even know where it is. I heard it, though. So that's an excellent point. Look, the band's getting ready. Andy's here. Hi, Andy. What else? Hiking. You were talking about. Oh, I was saying that I was pretty excited that I was going to get to go on your camping trip.
Travis, since I've been here at Meadow Grove, you've not been on one camping trip.
That's a fib.
Where'd you go?
I've been up on Fires Creek.
Did you camp?
Yes.
When? I wasn't there when you did.
The year before last we did. Last year I couldn't because I had to work on Friday night.
I don't know.
Man, but, you rough on me this morning.
I'm going to tell you what. Oh, we're going to try to take the canoe. Need some paddles. I got to try to round some paddles up for it. But
you're not going to do the whole hand paddle thing?
We could throw one of the boys out and just let him, paddle kick and push
it. Tell everybody you call him trolling.
There's a big difference in Fontana Lake and Chattooga, and you guys here in Hayesville, most of you know all about Chattooga, and Chattooga's a pretty lake, but it's also pretty shallow and a lot of red bank, red clay, and it's a great lake for skiing and those sorts of things because it's so wide and flat in areas. Fontana is a big lake too, but it's different. It's very deep, and the most of the shoreline is very steep. Now there are some places that you can, have a little swimming area, things like that, and there's some islands too, but they're totally different as far as being out on the lake and the feel you get. One thing I like about Fontana is one whole side of it is national park. And so there's no houses or structures or anything. That's just pristine.
The way the lakes used to be.
Yeah. I guess so. Most of these lakes are all man-made, but it's different because you can get out there and there's not as much skiing. There's not as much recreation. It's more, fishing is recreation, but it's more fishing and people, in kayaks or something going over to the park side to hike and explore. So that's what excites me about Fontana. It's a little harder to fish because the water's so clear. You really got to be tricky and sneaky with your bait, and I'm not the greatest fisherman, but it's kind of fun.
So are y'all going to catch fish to eat?
If we catch fish, we'll eat them. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to eat a mess of spotted bass.
Cook them on an open fire.
Well, I'm gonna take a frying pan. Something we can. I mean, we could do that, but I like them fried with a bunch of ketchup on them.
Well, it sounds like it's going to be not just a fun weekend, but a meaningful one too that y'all got planned. And even though I won't be able to be there, I'll be praying for you. And
be there in spirit, won't you?
Well, I don't know about that. I'm not real sure how you do that. I've never been able to send my spirit anywhere.
Well, I don't mean like that. I mean,
you want me to be a ghost?
The heart of Travis will be there.
I'll be there with you.
In his heart.
Y'all will be with me. How about that? I was excited. I thought I was going to get to go, but then I was reminded.
Pigeon Forge. Dollywood. Is that where you're going, Dollywood?
That's where we're going. I can say it because the kids are not going to watch it.
Splash Country?
I don't know. We're doing
Dollywood.
Dollywood. But here, let me ask you about this. I've got mixed results from this. My kids would love to go to Disney World, as would any kid, right? But have you seen the sticker price on that?
No, but I did hear that a Disney cruise is like thousands of dollars per person.
Okay. So Disney World's pretty much the same thing. So what I'm going to do.
When I was a kid, it was about $180 a day.
For the whole family?
No. Well, I don't know. I think it was.
That's ridiculous. Anyway, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get mouse ears and put on the kids and tell them Dollywood is Disney World.
There you go.
I mean, I don't think the people we're going with, I don't think the Giles family's willing to go along with that.
You going to call it Dolly World?
Dolly World.
Or Disneywood?
Disney. There we go. Disneywood. We could say this is their new theme park.
Yeah, it's a combination of the two.
Look, Disney will hear this and they'll open a park in the Smokies and they'll call it Disneywood.
I'm going to tell you what. Yes, I'd love to take my kids to Disney World, and maybe they'll get the opportunity someday. Maybe we'll get the opportunity to take them. It's a good experience, but they'll grow up just fine if they don't have that experience.
Yeah. I didn't go to Disney.
It's not a necessity.
Look how I turned out.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I'm rethinking my statement. No, but I'm saying we feel like we have to give our kids all these special things. And,
why do we feel that way?
I don't know, but we feel like we have to give them everything that we had and more.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, I had more than I needed, and still do. I don't want to. I can't think of what I'm wanting to say, but we can spoil our kids to death. We can give them a materialistic mindset that carries over into how they spend their time also. And we got to be careful of that.
Yeah. Well, when we start trying to equate happiness and joy with things, that's a problem, because the things we have eventually will get old. And then if your joy relies on this thing, as it gets older, your joy goes away. So then what happens? I've got to get the next newest, biggest thing. And, whereas if you teach your kids that it's nice to have some things, but that our joy and happiness should come from God, who never gets old, who never wears out, and there's no replacement needed. I think to me, that leads to a happier life than if you go to Disney World.
So I was listening to Moody Radio this week, and they were somebody came on there and they were talking about hoarders, and it was a program to help people get rid of junk, and this was a Christian program. And so anyway, to make a long story short, the lady said one thing. She said, there shouldn't be any material.
Just in case anybody doesn't have a Mother's Day present, there's some awesome birdhouses out there.
That's right.
Make sure they know.
There's birdhouses out there. If you need a birdhouse, get one
for Mother's Day.
Yeah, and then I think we probably need to put them in the closet. They've been out there a long time. But anyway, what I was saying about material things, she said there shouldn't be one material thing that you emotionally are attached to. And she was talking about people that they hoard all kinds of things, in their house. Like if a loved one dies, they keep those things that belong to that person, or maybe an item that was given to them by that person. So I started thinking about that because, I'm guilty of that myself. I've got tools and a workshop that are filled with some things that I bought as I worked hard and made the money, and other things that were given to me from family, from my grandparents or, my dad. And I got to thinking those things, I have an emotional bond with those material items, and they're saws and tools, things that are replaceable, and they're made out of metal. And why am I emotionally attached to those? And what does the Bible say about that? And I don't know how you feel, Travis, but the more I thought about it, the more I realized, as a Christian, we're not to be emotionally attached to one thing, nothing, material wise.
Right.
If it's a man-made item, if you can buy it in a store, why are we emotionally attached to stuff like that?
Well, what did Jesus tell the rich young ruler? And he came and said that, he'd followed all the commandments and he'd lived a good life. Jesus told him to sell off everything he owned and follow him. And he didn't, did he? He couldn't turn loose of the materialistic side of things. But, for me, I'm not telling you that I'm going to go sell all my stuff. But if the need is there, I don't want to think twice about it. I want to be confident enough to say, this is just a thing. It doesn't matter in eternity. It doesn't matter for
for
Well, and
cause
two,
of Christ, and I can get rid of it.
Talk about we keep stuff that belong to grandparents or whoever. Getting rid of that stuff doesn't take the memories away with it. You know,
No,
you still have that with you, but yeah, it's something that obviously people struggle with, or you wouldn't have the show hoarders.
Yeah,
know?
and I mean, it emotionally, we get attached to so many materialistic items and things. Our houses, our big, nice, fancy cars, our little red cars, whatever you may drive. But you know, as a Christian, our responsibilities are to further the gospel,
Right.
and whatever means necessary. It's not about working a big fancy job, making lots of money so that we can buy very big, nice things. That's not Christianity. That's not the gospel. And
No, that's pretty much the opposite.
it is. And we have to be very careful in our daily lives, because in America, that is one of Satan's biggest ploys, I guess.
Well, because in America,
dream.
yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. In America, you're taught that in order to be successful, you have to have the biggest house, the newest car, all the newest devices and gadgets and stuff. And if you don't, then you're not successful. And that totally goes against what the Bible teaches us. Our success should be based on our desire to live a Christian life and to live a godly life and to keep striving to be closer to God through Christ. And that's where success is. Success is shining the light of Christ, not getting a 60-inch TV, you know?
Yeah.
And if you've got a 60-inch TV, we're not slamming you. It's just, you got to make sure that the idea of success and the newest, biggest, fastest is not your religion. Because if you're constantly worried about what can I do to please society, you might want to step back and take a look.
Yeah, and I mean, and think about the example you're setting for your children and your grandchildren. Do you want them to grow up chasing those dreams that have no eternal meaning, or do you want them to pursue a life fulfilled in Christ and full of His guidance and wisdom? So, I mean, yeah, we need to think about what we're teaching our kids, and
that's important. You just said what we're teaching our kids. A lot of times when people hear that, they think of sitting down and teaching, but we teach more through example than I could ever teach verbally.
Absolutely. Think about this, Travis. If you look back on your life and the men of God that you learned from, okay, and that you kind of try to model maybe yourself after, do you actually remember things that they, like sermons that they taught, or do you just remember their lifestyle?
Their life.
They lived? That's right. And when I look back at some of my what's the word I'm looking for?
Mentors.
It's not necessarily exact sermons that they came up with or exact sayings that they had. It's just a generalization of their life and how they lived it, and how they were in the Word, and how they were, seeking the Lord's guidance in everything.
Right.
And that's what our kids are looking at. You know, when we're older, they're going to say, did my daddy get up and read his Bible in the mornings, or did my daddy get up and, watch TV? Or did he get up and cook breakfast and take a shower and then leave for work? And they're going to model their lives after what they see.
Right.
So, as parents, we need to be on top of.
Well, and tying this back into your camping trip, I think that's a good opportunity for the youth here, those guys, to see that, I don't need all of this stuff. Right. Because one thing that, especially now, every kid is constantly doing this, right?
Yeah, and playing on the phone.
Right. And look at how that not only impacts their social skills, but just their ability to fellowship. And as Christians, we're supposed to be doing life together.
Right.
And if the only time that I'm involved in your life is doing this and sending flowers, we've got a problem. So I'm hoping that your camping trip is a cell phone free zone.
Yeah, it probably will be. I don't think you get very good service there.
Well, good, because I think it will give them a chance to connect with each other and see. Think about like church functions when you're able just to get around each other and just enjoy being around each other. We have fellowship during service, and it's usually hard to get everybody back in their seat. Why? Because they're enjoying it so much. And I think we're robbing ourselves of those experiences now. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would. And I believe our youth have a real social problem.
Yeah.
Because of the phones. And I know as a daddy, I've decided that my children aren't going to have phones until they're driving.
Yeah.
At least until they're driving. Because there's too many things there they can access that they don't need to be accessing.
Right.
And
too much out there that could access them.
Yeah, and I want my children to be social.
Yeah.
You can't be a non-social Christian. You can't be a Christian and hide up in the mountains somewhere in a cabin and live your life in a cabin texting on your phone. That just doesn't work. That's not what we're called to do. Jesus spoke to the multitudes. He went out and found the multitudes of people. He traveled, and we're to model our life. And that's what Paul did. That's just what you do. You can't be a hermit. You can't be.
Well, the Great Commission is go and make disciples. You can't do that, like you say.
It doesn't say stay and make disciples.
No.
It says go.
It doesn't say text.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
But anyway, I noticed in Sunday school a lot of times I ask them, I want you to speak up. I want you to let's make some noise today and talk about what we're studying, what I'm trying to teach you. And man, they just sit there and look. And I know that's when I was a teenager, that happened some too. But I feel like now with phones, it's even worse.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to talk publicly, even if it's just one-on-one, because those social skills aren't there.
Right. They don't know how to talk.
Yeah, and I had enough trouble with social skills growing up myself. I definitely, and I still don't like to be in front of people, but just one-on-one, that was always kind of a tougher thing for me. And man, being on these phones now, it's just making it that much harder for kids to get out of their little box,
Yeah.
So as a parent,
but there again, as a parent, you're pressured that if your kid doesn't have that, you're not being a good parent.
Exactly, and that's what I can't stand that, and that's just the devil.
Yeah.
And there's so many little things like that, and see, the devil can use those phones as a tool for himself with the pornography and just the, all the bad stuff that's on there.
Well, it gives them too much freedom too soon. I
think so.
Look, I didn't have a cell phone until I was able to get a job and pay for it.
Well, I didn't have a cell phone until about 2 months ago.
Well, that's true.
No, I've had cell phones over the years, but there was a span for 4 or 5 years.
But we didn't have them when we were 10 years old.
No.
I had no need for a cell phone. You know why? I was always with an adult.
Maybe I'll get my kids beepers. And then if they have a problem, they can just beep me.
Well, how can they beep you from their beeper?
You can do that now.
Can you? Do they still make beepers?
Yeah.
Why?
Pagers.
Why?
Some people don't want phones. Doesn't Tommy Hooper have one?
I don't know.
I think Tommy Hooper has
Let's
one.
put his beeper number out there.
Does Donnie Martin have a cell phone?
He does. It's a flip phone, but he does have a cell phone.
For a while, he carried around a piece of wood. He just wrote down stuff on it.
With an antenna screwed into the top of it.
And he thought it worked.
Yeah, he actually tried to make a few phone calls. And then he'd get mad if you didn't return his call. I called you and you didn't answer. Donnie, it never did ring.
If you've never been to our church, you need to come to our church for one, to meet Jesus and to worship, but number two, to meet some of these other characters
that's
go here.
Maybe once we get this rolling and we get better at it, we'll have guests in.
Yeah.
We'll have Donnie in. I'll have him sitting right here. And when you're talking, I'll poke him, and he'll slap you across the back of the head. Donnie's a little jumpy.
Yeah.
But, he's part of this family here, this church family that I love. It is a mixed mash of different kind of characters and people, but it's a big family, I feel like.
It is. That is one thing great about our church is you got people from all different sorts of life that come here and worship together.
All ages, all
different extremes, and I'm kind of from the on the white trash redneck extreme side. I'll just go ahead and say that. I know Travis, he don't want to say it, but yeah. So I bring that to
Well,
the
there's a
church.
reason you and I get along so well. I'll just throw that out
Well,
there.
he hangs out at the racetrack all the time, so I guess
Those
we
are
get
my
along.
people. That's my environment. The preacher came last year and stayed for about 30 minutes and had all he could handle. And he looked at me just as solemn and serious as he could be, and he said, "These are your people."
These are your
I
people.
said, "Yes, they are. They're my minions."
Yeah. But now I would do the same thing if I had to go play around the golf with him.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
No, you and I golfing,
we should do that. That'd make a good video.
we should and film it.
Yeah.
Because how do you play golf ever?
I watched Happy Gilmore.
Good enough.
Yeah.
I only go to the driving range, and the last time I went with Brandon Airwood, and he gave me some advice, and he said to hit more downward on the ball. So I took his advice.
Broke a club.
The ball went good. He said, "See there?" I said, "Yeah, look, broke the head off my club." So,
He was trying to plow with it.
well, he was right. It did help it go straighter. But I would always go to the driving range just to take out frustration.
That's what I like to do is a driving range.
Yeah, just hit something as hard as you can
Hmm.
and see how far it goes.
Yeah.
Do you have any control over it at all?
Sometimes.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Well, you're already up on me.
I really would like to see how far I could drive one. Now that's because in high school when I played sports, when I played soccer, this is bad, and guys that played with me could attest to this. I always just want to see how far I could kick it, and so while they're actually working on their skills, and dribbling and all this, I'd just be in the back, and that's why I played defense. If the ball got to me, I would
clear it out.
clear that thing all the way as far as I could.
You
And
should have
so-
tried to be the kicker on the football team then.
Well, let me finish
Oh,
the
okay,
story.
sorry.
I was the kicker on the football team. So in ninth grade, I played high school soccer. In 10th grade, I went to play on the football team, and I did, every kind of kicking that there was, and also played in 11th grade. And as a senior, I decided not to play because I'd taken a job, and I worked that job a full second shift. But my brother, he was a kicker also, and he still holds a record at the high school.
Really?
The longest field goal in the game, 53 yards.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's a real good one. But yeah, we love to kick and just see how far we could, make that ball go. So that's why I'd love to just hang out at the driving range.
We should go and film it.
Yeah.
And should we take the preacher and let him try to give us instruction?
I don't know.
Because he would show up in his golf shirt and pants, and we'd roll in like cut off denim and t-shirt.
I worked at a golf course that was right down the road from where I grew up. It was a dairy farm, and I really had a lot of ties to that land. But anyway, they sold it, turned it into a golf course, and I worked down there for maybe a year. And we used to have to shag balls on the driving range, and it was brand new, so they didn't have much equipment. All they had is these bags that you shag the balls with, and you just pop it down on each ball, and it'd pick them up. And there was no safety equipment, and they wouldn't let us do that after hours. We had to do it while people were driving. And you would be dodging balls, but you never knew where a ball was coming. You just hear that ding, and you'd have to look and try to find it.
Did you ever
I got hit right here one day with a ball.
Well, those guys were aiming for you.
From about 300 yards away. I don't know if it was that far, but that's a long way. But anyway, and it left the biggest bruise on my arm. And if that would have hit me in the head, it'd have killed me.
Why wouldn't they let you do it when they were shut down?
I don't know. They were just mean like that. But finally, we had this golf cart that was made to shag balls, and it had these arms
the cage around it.
Yeah, and so I'd drive that thing around all day, and boy, they'd hit you.
Yeah.
You'd be driving, all of a sudden, bam, and just
You have to aim for that.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. They sent you out there as a target.
I guess, and the other guys too. And
Did anybody else get hit?
I think another guy got hit in the leg one time.
What did they say when you went in? You're like, "Look, I got hit by a golf ball."
They were like, well,
It's part of the job.
Yeah.
Did you
What do you want? An extra $5?
Did you at least have a helmet?
No,
Why didn't you get a football helmet or
know.
something?
they weren't thinking, and I wasn't thinking. I was just 15 or 16 years old, But looking back, man, that was not.
That's something that would never happen now.
No.
There's no way they send a 15-year-old out on the driving range with a bag picking up golf balls.
While people are driving.
People are whizzing them by. Did you ever hear them as they went by?
Yeah, oh, yeah. Yeah, or they'd be bouncing, and you have to jump because one would be worm burning right under you.
What did you say? Worm burning?
Yeah, you know what a worm burner
That's
is, don't you? It's a baseball and golf.
yeah. I haven't.
You
heard
never
that
hit a worm burner.
I've
We
never
gotta go to
heard
the
it
driving
forever.
range.
Let's go to the driving range. We'll take Preach with us. He can give us some advice. And we may embarrass him, though, because I'm sure he'll know the people there.
Yeah, that's probably why he's never invited us. He doesn't want
That's
to bring
exactly
his
right.
white trash
Even
buddies with him.
we were standing in line at a local sandwich shop. He was going golfing. He didn't ask us one time if we wanted to go, did he?
No.
I'll see you boys later. He grabbed his food and gone.
Mm-hmm.
I'd forgotten that.
Hmm.
Well, we're not taking him then.
Yeah, I don't know how this camping trip's going to go. We're going to have to roughen him up a little bit.
Is he going?
Listen, he's got a bicycle, and I bet you he's going to bring it. It's got real big fat tires.
Oh, a beach cruiser?
Yeah, and he's going to ride that thing at Solly. Now, that needs to be
On
video.
trails?
Yes.
Well, grab a video of it and put it on our Facebook page, and we'll all. Has it got a basket on it? Put a basket on it, like when he goes to sleep.
A basket and a little bell.
Ching, ching, with the tassels on the handlebars.
Maybe some of them things on the spokes that you remember those from the 80s?
What?
There were little things you'd clip around the spokes, and as you rolled, they would slide up and down the spokes. They're just weighted.
Oh, yeah.
Plastic thing. My brother had those.
I thought you meant like a baseball card. You
No,
clip a baseball card so it sounds like a motorcycle.
That'd be funny too.
Do that. You could do that pretty easy. He wouldn't figure it out. Assuming he doesn't watch this.
Yeah. You know, when me and Shanna, I asked her to go on our first kind of date, and it was more just like a fun outing, but it was mountain biking. And I had planned on asking her, if we could start a relationship. Well, it just so happened she got a flat tire when we were like as far out on the trail as you could get. So we had to push our bikes back 4 or 5 miles, and that gave us, plenty of time to just talk. And that's when I asked her out. So it all started because of a flat tire.
What about that?
What about it?
The Lord works in mysterious ways, right?
Yep.
Well, anything else for this morning?
I don't guess. It's about 9:50. I probably need to head up to my Sunday school.
Yeah,
class.
I got to head to mine. We're gonna talk to Whitney about getting us some challenges set up for these shows.
Yeah.
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 I saw one yesterday we need to try, but it would ruin the equipment in here. They took 400 rubber bands and put around a gallon milk jug, and it blew the lid off.
Oh, they did it with the milk in it?
Yeah, it was a milk cannon. It was amazing.
My ears must be too big for these things. What
Why?
are these for little kids?
Well, you can adjust it.
They're squeezing my ears.
Well, adjust the top. There. Now look, I fixed
at
your
my
hair
hair.
for you.
So this is
That's a good look.
like
for you.
Rod Stewart.
Yeah.
All right. So are we done for this morning?
We're done for this morning. It'll get better when we get our better computer fixed. We've got an intro and graphics and all that stuff, but you just get the rough cut this morning. So we're 10 minutes away from small group. If you're not on your way, you're probably going to be late. But you still have plenty of time to make it to the 11 o'clock service where we'll have music and worship and the sermon and fellowship and all that good stuff. So I hope we see you soon. If you're watching this post-service, I hope we saw you here. So we'll see you next Sunday morning at what time?
9:30.
He won't be
No,
here.
I won't be here.
So I'll see you, maybe.
Yeah.
So have a good week.
All right. See you.